Hey everyone, feeling a little overwhelmed,
Yeah.
just kind of like stuck in that hamster wheel of life.
Oh, yeah, I know that feeling.
Well, get this, the source you sent over, it's like a treasure map, a blueprint to like reclaim your well-being. I'm excited to dive into this.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Well, it all starts with understanding that mental wellness, it's not just about like the absence of stress or anxiety.
right.
This blueprint emphasizes it's about actively, creating a life of balance and fulfillment.
Okay, so not just surviving, but thriving.
Exactly.
Where do we even begin though?
Well, the source breaks down mental wellness into four key areas,
Okay.
kind of like the foundational pillars of a
Ah, I
house:
like that.
emotional, social, physical, and intellectual.
Okay.
And, we often focus on just one or two.
Yeah.
This blueprint stresses the importance of nurturing all four.
Okay, so it's like a holistic approach to feeling good.
Exactly.
I like that.
It's about recognizing that, each area impacts the others.
Right.
They're all interconnected.
Yeah.
Let's start with emotional wellness,
Okay.
which the source says is all about understanding and managing your emotions, not suppressing them.
Okay, but honestly, sometimes I just want to like stuff those feelings down and pretend they're not there.
Yeah.
Is that really so bad?
Well, think of it like this. Emotions are like waves.
Okay.
They're going to come whether you like it or not.
Right.
Trying to suppress them is like trying to hold back the tide.
Oh, I like that.
Eventually, it's going to overwhelm you.
That makes sense. So how do we manage those waves without getting like swept away?
The source highlights a simple but powerful tool: journaling.
Okay.
Not just venting, but spending 5 minutes a day to actually identify negative thought patterns.
Hmm.
It's like shining a light on those subconscious beliefs that might be holding you back.
5 minutes. Okay, that seems doable. Does that really make a difference though?
Think of it as a mental declutter. You're getting those thoughts out of your head and onto paper, which can help you gain clarity and perspective.
Right.
And the source also mentions that by identifying those negative patterns, you can then start to challenge them and reframe your thinking.
Wow, that's powerful.
Yeah,
It's like taking control of your inner critic.
exactly.
So journaling can help us manage our emotions. What else does this blueprint suggest?
The source emphasizes the importance of mindfulness, gratitude, and breathing exercises.
Okay.
They might sound simple,
Right.
but they're evidence-based techniques for regulating your emotions.
Okay, I've heard of mindfulness, but to be honest, I'm not sure I fully get it.
Yeah.
Is it just about like emptying your mind?
It's more about paying attention to the present moment without judgment,
Okay.
noticing your thoughts and feelings without getting swept away by them.
Hmm.
It's like training your mind to focus on what's actually happening instead of getting lost in worry or rumination.
Okay, that makes more sense. And what about gratitude? Isn't that just like being thankful for what you have?
Well, gratitude is about actively focusing on the positive aspects of your life, even in the midst of challenges.
Okay.
It's about shifting your perspective from what you lack to what you have.
Right.
And the source highlights that even small acts of gratitude can boost your mood and increase feelings of happiness.
So instead of dwelling on what's wrong, we're training our brains to see the good. I like that. And breathing exercises, how does that fit in?
Breathing exercises are like a secret weapon for calming your nervous system.
Hmm.
When you're stressed or anxious, your breathing tends to become shallow and rapid.
Yeah.
By practicing deep, slow breaths, you can actually signal to your body that it's time to relax.
So we're essentially hacking our biology to feel calmer.
Exactly.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
So we've laid the emotional foundation.
right.
What's next on this mental wellness blueprint?
The source dives into the importance of social wellness, reminding us that we are social creatures by nature. We thrive on connection.
I get that, but I'm an introvert.
Yeah.
Does that mean I'm doomed when it comes to social wellness?
Not at all. The source isn't saying you need to be a social butterfly. It's about nurturing the connections that matter most to you, whether that's a small circle of close friends or a vibrant community.
Yeah.
It's about quality over quantity.
Okay, that's reassuring.
Yeah.
So how do we actually build those meaningful connections?
The source highlights the importance of surrounding yourself with people who uplift you and support you, people who make you feel seen and heard.
Yeah.
It's about creating a supportive network that you can rely on during good times and bad.
I love that. But honestly, sometimes I struggle to maintain those connections.
Yeah.
Life just gets so busy. Does the source have any tips for that?
It actually suggests something quite simple but profound. Try swapping some of your digital time for a real face-to-face conversation with a loved one each week.
That's interesting. I have been feeling so disconnected lately, always glued to my phone. Maybe that's part of it.
Yeah, it's easy to get lost in that digital world and forget the power of real human interaction.
Right.
The source emphasizes that those face-to-face conversations can be incredibly rejuvenating, both for you and for the person you're connecting with.
That's like a reminder that we're not meant to go through life alone. We
Exactly.
need those real, genuine connections to thrive.
Okay, so we've got emotional wellness, social wellness. What's next on this blueprint?
The source shifts gears to physical wellness. And I know you might be rolling your eyes thinking, here comes the exercise and healthy eating lecture, but it goes deeper than that.
Okay.
It's about understanding that mind-body connection
Right.
and how taking care of your physical health can have a profound impact on your mental well-being.
Okay. I'm listening, but I have to admit I've heard this all before.
Yeah.
What makes this blueprint's approach different?
What stood out to me were the specific targets the source provides. 30 minutes of movement,
Okay.
8 glasses of water,
Okay.
and 7 to 9 hours of sleep each day.
They're not revolutionary, but they're evidence-based.
Right.
And most importantly, they emphasize the importance of consistency.
So it's not about trying to be perfect. It's about making those small, sustainable changes that add up over time.
Exactly. And even if you can't hit those targets every day, the source reminds us that even small bursts of activity, like a 10-minute walk, can boost your mood thanks to those feel-good
See,
endorphins.
that's what I needed to hear. I can definitely commit to a 10-minute walk.
Great.
So small steps, consistency, and celebrating those little wins.
Precisely. It's about building a sustainable foundation for physical well-being that supports your mental health. Now, are you ready to explore the final pillar of this blueprint?
Absolutely. Bring on the brain power.
All right, let's dive into intellectual wellness. This one's all about continuous learning and mental stimulation, which are crucial for growth and resilience.
Okay, but I'm not in school anymore, so why should I care about learning new things?
This is where it gets fascinating. The source connects intellectual wellness to a concept called brain plasticity, which is essentially the brain's ability to adapt and change throughout life.
Interesting.
By engaging in activities that challenge us mentally, we're actually strengthening those neural connections, keeping our minds sharp and agile,
Yeah.
and building what's called cognitive reserve.
Cognitive reserve. What's that?
Think of it like a mental savings account for the future.
Oh, okay.
The more you learn and challenge your brain, the more cognitive reserve you build, which can actually protect against cognitive decline and stress as you age.
Wow, so it's not just about learning for the sake of learning, it's about investing in our long-term brain health.
Exactly.
That's pretty amazing. So what are some practical ways to boost our intellectual wellness?
The source suggests exploring new topics, developing new skills, pursuing creative hobbies, things that spark your curiosity and keep you mentally engaged.
So it's not about becoming an expert in everything.
No.
It's about finding things that make us want to learn and grow.
Exactly. And that can look different for everyone. Maybe it's reading books, taking online courses, learning a new language, picking up a musical instrument.
Right.
The key is to find something that excites you and keeps you mentally stimulated.
Okay, so we've explored all 4 areas of this mental wellness blueprint. But how do we actually start putting it all together?
Yeah.
How do we take all of this information and turn it into a plan for our own lives?
That's where we'll pick up in part 2 of this deep dive. We'll explore how to create your own personalized blueprint, set achievable goals, and navigate those inevitable challenges that come with any journey of growth and change. So stay tuned.
All right, looking forward to it.
Welcome back to our deep dive into your mental wellness blueprint.
All right, so we've laid the groundwork, exploring those 4 key areas: emotional, social, physical, and intellectual wellness.
Right.
But now, how do we actually start building our own personalized blueprint? Where do we even begin?
Well, the source offers some really practical advice, and it starts with something surprisingly simple. Instead of trying to overhaul your entire life all at once,
Right.
it suggests identifying one small, actionable goal in each area.
Okay.
Remember, it's about consistency over perfection.
So it's like choosing one tiny step I can take in each area
Yeah.
and committing to doing it consistently.
Yeah.
Kind of like building those micro habits we talked about.
Exactly.
No.
And these goals should be super specific and achievable.
Okay.
For example, in the emotional wellness area, your goal might be to spend just 5 minutes each morning practicing mindfulness, maybe using a guided meditation app.
Okay.
Or for social wellness, maybe it's reaching out to one friend you haven't spoken to in a while and scheduling a coffee date.
I see. So Instead of feeling overwhelmed by trying to meditate for an hour or plan a huge get-together,
Yeah,
I can start with something that feels manageable and enjoyable.
precisely.
I like it.
And for physical wellness, your goal could be as simple as going for a 20-minute walk 3 times a week.
Okay.
Or maybe you commit to swapping out one sugary drink each day with a glass of water.
Okay, those all feel doable.
Yeah.
And what about for intellectual wellness? What kind of small, actionable goal could someone set in that area?
Maybe you commit to reading just one chapter of a book every day.
Okay.
Or perhaps you sign up for a free online course in a subject that's always interested you.
Right.
The possibilities are endless. The key is to find something that sparks your curiosity and makes you want to learn and grow.
I love that.
Yeah.
So we've got our small, achievable goals.
Right.
Now, how do we actually stay motivated and keep those positive changes going?
Yeah.
Because let's be real, life gets busy, distractions happen.
Right.
How do we make sure those good intentions don't just fizzle out after a week or two?
That's where those tips for addressing challenges come in.
Okay.
Remember, the source reminds us that setbacks are a normal part of the process. And it emphasizes self-compassion.
Okay.
So if you miss a day or two of your new routine, don't beat yourself up.
Yeah.
Just get back on track as soon as you can.
Okay, so we're not aiming for perfection, we're aiming for progress.
Exactly.
And what about those moments when we feel discouraged or like we're not seeing results fast enough?
That's when it's so important to celebrate those small wins along the way.
Okay.
Even those tiny victories can give you a sense of accomplishment and keep you motivated to keep going.
So it's like we're training our brains to focus on the positive, to see how far we've come instead of dwelling on how much further we have to go.
Exactly.
I like that.
And remember, you don't have to do this alone.
Right.
The source emphasizes that seeking professional support is always an option.
Okay.
If you're struggling, there's no shame in reaching out to a therapist or counselor for guidance and support.
Right.
They can offer personalized strategies and help you navigate those bumps in the road.
Okay. That's good to remember.
Yeah.
So we've set our small, achievable goals, we're embracing self-compassion, and we're celebrating those small wins.
Right.
What else can we do to really make this blueprint a reality in our lives?
The source highlights something crucial. It's about weaving these new habits and practices into the fabric of your everyday life. It's about finding ways to make them sustainable and enjoyable so they become less like chores and more like choices you're making to take care of yourself.
So instead of feeling like I'm adding more to my to-do list,
Right.
I can find ways to integrate these practices into my existing routine.
Exactly.
Okay.
Maybe you listen to a guided meditation while you're commuting to work, or you catch up with a friend during your lunch break,
Right.
or perhaps you make it a family ritual to go for a walk after dinner.
I like that.
It's about finding creative ways to make these practices fit seamlessly into your life.
It's like we're not just building a blueprint, we're designing a lifestyle that supports our overall well-being.
Precisely.
I like that.
And remember, this isn't a one-size-fits-all approach.
Right.
What works for one person might not work for another, so it's important to experiment and find what feels best for you.
Okay, so it's about personalization, finding those practices that truly resonate with us and make us feel good.
Yeah.
And remember, this is a journey, not a destination.
Right.
There will be ups and downs, days when you feel like you're rocking it, and days when you might feel a little off-kilter.
Yeah.
That's perfectly normal, and it's all part of the process.
Exactly.
It's like those waves we talked about earlier. Sometimes they're gentle and calming, and other times they're a bit rough and choppy.
Right.
But the key is to just keep swimming,
Yeah.
keep showing up for ourselves, and nurturing those 4 key areas of our well-being.
Beautifully said.
And if you find yourself feeling lost or overwhelmed, just come back to this blueprint.
Yeah.
It's your guide, your roadmap for navigating the ups and downs of life and creating a life that feels authentic, meaningful, and fulfilling.
Absolutely.
Okay, so we've explored how to set achievable goals, cultivate self-compassion, celebrate those small wins, and integrate those new practices into our everyday lives.
Right.
Anything else we should keep in mind as we embark on this journey of building our own personalized mental wellness blueprint?
The source reminds us that our mental well-being is influenced by a complex interplay of factors,
Wait.
from our genetics and environment to our thoughts, behaviors, and relationships.
So it's not just about following a set of rules. It's about understanding the unique factors that shape our individual experiences.
Exactly. And it's about recognizing that what works for you might not work for someone else, and that's okay.
Right.
It's about finding what resonates with you and honoring your own unique journey.
I love that.
Yeah.
It's about embracing our individuality and finding what truly supports our mental well-being.
Precisely.
And remember, this journey isn't a solo mission.
Right.
There's a whole community of resources and support available to you, from
Yeah,
therapists and counselors to support groups and online communities.
absolutely.
Don't hesitate to reach out if you need guidance or a helping hand along the way.
Exactly.
Okay, so we're embracing our individuality, seeking support when we need it, and remembering that this is an ongoing journey of self-discovery and growth.
Beautifully said.
And as we wrap up part 2 of this deep dive,
Yeah,
I want to leave you with this thought. Building your own personalized mental wellness blueprint is an act of self-love.
absolutely.
It's an investment in your overall health and happiness.
And it's a gift you can give yourself, a gift that keeps on giving.
Exactly.
And in part 3, we'll explore some additional resources and insights to help you further personalize your blueprint and make it a reality.
All right.
So stay tuned.
Welcome back to our deep dive into mental wellness. You know, we spent the last 2 parts really unpacking this blueprint.
Yeah, we have.
From understanding the importance of those 4 key areas of well-being
Right.
to setting small, achievable goals and remembering to be kind to ourselves throughout the process.
Absolutely.
And now I bet you're thinking, okay, this is all great in theory, but how do I actually make this blueprint a reality in my everyday life?
That's where the rubber meets the road, right? And the source provides some valuable insights for this stage of your journey. It emphasizes the importance of paying attention to what actually works for you.
So as we start putting these small actions into practice, it's not just about checking things off a list.
Right.
It's about noticing how those actions make us feel.
Exactly. It's about tuning into your own internal feedback system.
Okay.
Maybe you discover that taking a walk in nature first thing in the morning leaves you feeling energized and focused for the entire day.
Right.
Or perhaps you find that having a weekly video call with a close friend is like an instant mood booster.
It's about becoming a scientist of our own well-being, experimenting with different practices, and seeing what truly resonates with us.
I love that analogy. And the source reminds us that this is an ongoing process,
Right.
not a one-time fix.
Yeah.
Life is constantly changing, and so are our needs.
Right.
So be flexible and willing to adjust your blueprint as needed.
So it's not about striving for perfection. It's about embracing the journey and making those tweaks along the way.
Precisely. And remember, progress isn't always linear. There will be days when you feel like you're absolutely thriving, and other days when you might feel a little off kilter.
Right.
That's perfectly normal, and it's all part of the process.
It's like those waves we talked about earlier.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're gentle and calming, and other times they're a bit rough and choppy.
Right.
But the key is to just keep swimming, keep showing up for ourselves, and nurturing those 4 key areas of our well-being.
Beautifully said. And remember, there are so many resources available to support you along the way.
Right.
If you're feeling stuck or overwhelmed, don't hesitate to reach out to a therapist, counselor, or join a support group.
Yeah.
There's a whole community of people who understand what you're going through and are there to help.
That's such an important reminder, isn't it? We don't have to do this alone.
Absolutely. And the source ends with a question that I think is worth reflecting on.
Okay.
What does mental wellness mean to you? It's an invitation to define what truly matters to you, what brings you joy, what makes you feel alive and connected to yourself and the world around you.
That's such a powerful question, isn't it? It's not about conforming to some external standard of what mental wellness should look like.
Right.
It's about creating a life that feels authentic and meaningful to you.
Exactly. It's about discovering what nourishes your soul and then weaving those elements into your personalized blueprint.
So it's not just about surviving, it's about thriving. It's about designing a life that reflects your values, your passions, and your aspirations.
And the most beautiful part is that you have the power to create that life, starting today.
Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into mental wellness. We hope you feel empowered and inspired to start building your own unique blueprint for a more balanced and joyful life.
Absolutely.
Until next time, take care of yourselves and keep those minds thriving.